Hey guys, welcome back to another brand new video. The topic we're going to talk about in this video is how you can make 10x, 50x, or 100x. You probably have your friends telling you that they made 10x, 50x. And of course, this is something that makes us jealous and we want to know how does it happen. In order for us to make this kind of 10x or 50x or 100x, we need to get into projects that are new startups. Of course, there is more risk into it, but there's this one specific formula that we have in crypto. High risk equals high profit as well. So there's less chances of you making a profit when you go for riskier projects, but the margin of profit is higher. So that is something that we eventually have to accept. But the amazing thing here is that these new startups, whenever they're selling their tokens, they are at a very cheap price. So even if we spend maybe like $100 or $200, that is something that we can spare. That is not something that we're taking out from our savings. And even if we do lose it, it's not going to have a major loss in our overall life. If it is creating a huge loss for you, and if 100 or $200 means a lot for you in your daily or monthly budget, I would suggest not doing these things. But if you can spare that type of money and you can basically forget about it, then these are something that you should definitely consider. So we're going to talk about launchpads, which are an interesting platforms in which new startups they get the right exposure, they get the right incubation when they're launching, and we get the opportunity to invest into their tokens, buy their tokens at a cheaper price. Eventually, afterwards, when they succeed, when they go for more adoption, more utility, their price appreciate, and that is when we make a profit from it. So, but of course, in these ones, we do have to be able to tell from all the projects in the launchpad which one has more certainty of succeeding. So that's what we're going to talk about in this video. Now we're going to talk about multiple launchpads. Starting with, we have DAO Maker Launchpad. Now, if you talk about the DAO Maker Launchpad and their projects, which had the biggest pre-sale, the tokens that are issued here, they really give profits up to 50x. That is the average. That is the estimate. And the most important thing here is that they, they get real and solid projects. And the pre-sales of major tokens such as Sweet Economy and My Neighbor, Alice, Gamify, XCAD Network, they were also made using the DAO Maker. Now the pre-sale prices of the, for example, Gamify token was $1, and the sale ended on the 21st of September 2021. Then you can see that the coin price increased up to $300 within 1 month. That means 300x basically. Now this makes it a lot better than having to go out yourself. It's much better that you find the projects yourself, on these launch pads. They're much more reliable, much more safer. So you can get the tokens from the pre-sale. Now let's talk about the Polkastarter launchpad, which is the second best pre-sale platform. Now in this launchpad, there are people who made up to 150x profit from the pre-sales that occurred here. Now the pre-sales of major tokens, we have examples like Wilder World, High Street, Humans AI, Shift Network. They were made in the Polkastarter launchpad. Maybe there are people who remember that Shift Network. It provides up to It provided up to 160x profit. Now, as I said, you can really make a huge profit through this up to 100x. We're actually getting more than 100x right now, almost 160x in most of these projects. But that is the average that we have here. And the third one and the last one for this one, in this video, is the Trustswap. Now, it is one of the best launchpads, although we don't really make 100x profit from this one. But the projects that we do get in this one, they are real, they are reliable, and we can easily make up to 10x profit, which is still a lot of money. Now, in this launchpad, we have pre-sales of great tokens like Yield App, Opulus, Buying, Buy, Carbon, C6. Those were their pre-sales. They were made here. And if you take a look at the all-time high, we can see that the tokens here normally go up to 5x. What is important is not high earnings, but solid earnings. Even though the average price is less, but there is less, less risk. There are more, projects that consistently made a 5x through it, and there are very less projects that did not make a 5x here. So even though there's a less profit, but there's high chances of profit. And as I mentioned in the in the beginning, Maker and Polkastarter projects, they're reliable and they provide high profit. Now, as I always say, this is not a financial advice. These are just ways through which, for those of you guys who are interested in buying pre-sale of the projects, this is where you can find the most reliable and solid projects. Um, so make sure you check this out. Of course, do your own proper research and studies, and do consider the fact that since these are pre-sales, these are new startups. It's not evident that they are going to make it, but if they do, you can make a profit. So I would say it's kind of like a gamble. So you have to consider that you're into a gamble. But yeah, this is all of you guys in this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one shortly. So stay tuned.